So what episode is this even? I can't even remember. Next podcast episode question mark. I need to cover that one is really important. Put a star by that. Why do I keep typoing? I feel I forgot something. I better have a sip of coffee. I remember. Who texteth me? Oh well. How in the world am I going to cover all this in one episode? It's just too much. It's too much. I can't believe it. It's too much. I hope that looked as funny as it felt. Hey guys, welcome back to the Something About Yarn podcast. My name is Annie, and I'm a knitter and knitwear designer, and soon to be once again yarn dyer, living south of Atlanta, Georgia. This episode is very much overdue by about 3.5, 4 months. So I have a lot to catch up on. I'm not going to be able to get to all of it today because, what time is it? Yeah, I need to leave for work in an hour. But I'm going to do my absolute best to cover what I can. I kind of have a list going, as you might already know. So some of it I'm not actually going to get to today. I want to save it to really be able to talk about it, namely Stitches United, which I went to with my dear friend Shay the end of May and helped her set up her booth. I was only there one day, unfortunately. I wanted to be there longer, but it was awesome the time that I was there, and I met some amazingly cool people. Got to squish Shay's lovely selection of Cameo yarns, which is her brand, and left with a couple of her goodies as well. So I want to save that for the next episode to really be able to talk about it a lot more and not feel rushed, because each skein that I got is just gorgeous and I want to do them all justice. So for today, I am going to be talking about what I would like to say is the elephant in the room, but it's actually the room itself, so that doesn't actually work. I'm sure you've noticed my surroundings have changed, and if you've been watching my Instagram updates, or looking at them rather, then you know that my boyfriend and I, Michael and I, moved. We got our own place, and because he started a new job, and I am gonna start dyeing Annie yarn again. So it's been a huge process. We've been looking at places for quite a while, and then, trying to get a feel for what was out there for, I'd say a few months. And then when I decided that I wanted to go full force into starting Annie yarn again and transition out of my day job over the course of, maybe the summer or whatever, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get a loan and we're gonna get a place. So it felt like as soon as I decided that, he got called in for an interview with a new company, and now he's got a new job, which is, instead of an hour and 15 to 20 minutes one way, it's a 10-minute commute. What commute? But he's a store manager with a different company than we were with prior, that I'm still with, Simply Mac. So he's working somewhere else as a store manager, so significant pay increase, which is amazing. And then, for me, I'm going to be transitioning out of management at Simply Mac, but we kind of came to a mutual decision that I do better as a sales specialist, where I can just focus on selling. I don't have to count the drawer, write, daily reports. I don't, I sell, which is what I'm passionate about. Setting people up with what they need, and, really creating a relationship. I say selling and everything, but it's so much more than just, I'm going to sell you a $3,000 computer and get your money. No. No. It's more of, hey, I know this tech can impact your life. Let me help you figure out what's best for you. And then we go from there, because I know that, whether it's an iPad or a phone, Apple Watch, a Mac, it doesn't really matter. It's still a part of people's daily lives, and it can make it so much easier, so much better. And in my case, I was able to start my business online in 2009 as a knitwear designer because I had a Mac. So, it's been a huge impact in my life, and I like to help people, encounter that for themselves. And anybody who has spent any time with me in real life knows that a little too well. But anyway, so yeah, that's the main life update right there. We moved. He got a new job. I'm transitioning at my job. And then after, main thing was I'm going to start dyeing Annie yarn. And very soon. I don't have an exact date like for my first shop update yet, but I think it's going to be this month, like around the end of the month, maybe beginning of July. I will be transitioning out of management next, like around the middle of July. So that'll be a good time. So, and then as Annie yarn picks up and keeps, growing, I'm gonna start shaving down my hours at Simply Mac very slowly. And once again, my boss is awesome. She knows what my dreams are, and she's fully behind me, and just, and she knows that I want to do what's best for the store, her, and myself, and try to keep a good balance of all of those. So it's been, a really, really good experience as far as, talking about all of that and wanting to transition into Annie yarn full time. So, let's see. I guess I'll just go ahead and launch into that because, and then I can kind of step back to the end of March where we went to the aquarium. How's that? So, I'm calling this Annie Yarn 2.0. It's not going to be different on the yarn labels or anything else, or the website or anything. It's still going to be Annie Yarn. But I am, for the sake of keeping it straight in my head and helping people, oh yeah, this is something new. And kind of, because this really is like, when I put Annie Yarn on hiatus, there were a lot of things that I wasn't really happy with how I did them the first time around. So I have been thinking about it for months because I've been wanting to get back into dyeing yarn for a really long time. And I just kind of zeroed in on the few things that really made things more difficult than they should have been, I think. Things that I didn't know going into them, that it wasn't the best choice. We learn from experience, So it is really Annie Yarn 2.0. I'm keeping the name. My LLC is Annie.creative. So that's going to be like my parent company. Everything is going to be funneled through everything is going to be funneled through Annie.creative. So the shop is going to be there. It's going to be Annie.creative, like online market or, something like that. So it'll be shop.annie.creative.com kind of thing. I even already set up Shopify to point to that. I have the subdomain set up, and I am putting together the Shopify theme. I use a developer called Out of the Sandbox. I've had one of their themes for a really long time, and I started using it with Annie Yarn. And then when I transitioned into Wool House Fiber Company, I used it for that. And then now with Annie.creative, because it's all been on the same shop, I've just changed the name. And so, their themes are awesome, absolutely awesome. So I am, working on putting all the graphics together so that it looks great on PC, Mac, iPhone, iPad, whatever you're on. The shop is going to be easy to navigate and stuff like that, in nice colors, easy on the eyes. How my design aesthetic is, very simple but cute and classy at the same time. So I thought about doing Annie Yarn as the shop like I used to originally, but I still want to do what I had originally planned with Wool House Fiber Company, where I start bringing in other artisans and I promote their work and take a very small cut in exchange for just, back end stuff on the website, listing and things like that. And then they ship to the customers directly, kind of thing. So I decided to keep Annie.Creative as my primary. So that's what I formed the LLC last month. I got the paperwork, it's official. And then when I had the shop there, I did toy with the idea of rebranding Annie Yarn, like the yarn itself, as Annie.Creative. But I ran a poll on Instagram and so many people were like, no, please keep Annie Yarn, please keep Annie Yarn. And like telling me like, I love the name and it's familiar. And it's like, okay, fine. And then I was trying to decide whether I needed to go with like Annie Yarn 2.0 or something completely different, like Annie.Creative, like, maybe keep some of my original colorways because people love those, but everything else different, like stop braiding skeins, go to twisting, do different tags, like everything just changing overnight. And I ran the polls and people were like, but you have like this amazing thing, why not just bring it back? Like keep it, So I'm gonna keep braiding my yarn, at least the ones branded under Annie Yarn. I may still release, I have some ideas for some collections I want to do that I may release under Annie.Creative and not braid, just to be a little bit different. Don't know, just saying, throwing that out there. But for the primary stuff, it'll be Annie Yarn, it'll be the braided skeins, it'll be my chickadee logo. I've cleaned up the logo a little bit, made it a little simpler, changed one of the fonts to be a little bit more simple. So if you hop over to annieyarn.com, you can see that. I'm gonna finish using the rest of the labels that I've got, that I had a family friend do for me. And then once I get close to finishing those up, I will probably reach out to him on making me more, and I'll send the new file with the new font, and maybe get like I don't know, it's like a little in-house kind of print shop at a local ministry. So I don't know what their big printers can handle as far as like more eco-friendly paper, but I really want to go through them because it does, give to them. And then also I know them and they do a really good job. So, I'm on the lookout for more eco-friendly, papers and things like that, but it may just be a process. So that's all going to stay the same. So I'll be, rescanning all the yarns like I always do. Which, as y'all know, I'm really big into that because it redistributes the colors of the yarn, gives it a more accurate representation of how it knits up. It takes the lights and darks and intermingles them and gives them that glow that, people really like about my yarn, and, like all that. Well, that and my methods do that too. I still don't know what does it, honestly, but we'll say it's the rescanning. So yeah, that's Annie Yarn 2.0. So so it'll be the new shop, same name, new shop. Hoping to have my first shop update end of the month, beginning of July. We'll see. A couple of things have to fall into place for that. I do have a yarn order coming in, so that will be getting here this week, I think, pretty sure. So segueing through that into my next point. So another thing, I know some of you who have bought Annie Yarn in the past may be kind of sad about this, but I am changing suppliers for my yarn. My old supplier, I couldn't ever get them to tell me like where the fiber was from and more specific so that I could pass that along to my customers and I had people asking. I didn't like how they handled that. And I want to make sure that the yarn that I dye and send out to people is ethically sourced, ethically made, everything is, really good and well done. So I found another supplier that does a really good job of being open about that. And so all of my older bases, the Annie line, which is the 80/20 merino nylon, Butterfly, which is 75/25 merino nylon, Destiny, which is an MCN, all of those with the like code names, those are all going to be discontinued, at least for now. And I am going to be starting Annie Yarn 2.0 with 3 bases, because what I did last time was, and this is one of the mistakes I learned from, I got, oh yeah, I want this and I want that, and I added too many bases too quickly, and then I could not afford to keep them all in stock. So very transparent here. This is like a behind the scenes thing, and this is if you want to dye yarn, you want to start a brand, don't do what I did. So this time around, I'm starting with 3. In fact, let me grab them so you can see them. I really hope it focuses because they're gorgeous. So first up, we're gonna do a superwash worsted, which I know this camera and the lighting and everything is not gonna do it justice, but and then we have a sport weight, which is also 100%. Those are both 100% superwash merino wool. And then I'm going to go with the same blend as my old Annie sock, and it's going to be an 80-20 merino nylon split fingering. Now the names on these, like I said, I am doing away with the old names because it was just too confusing. So because I'm being extremely simple and, just kind of going for something easy in my head and my customers' heads at the same time, these are going to be simply named Superwash Worsted, Superwash Sport, and 80-20 sock. So very generic, I know, but if I were still going on my old names, these would both be like, this would be like Madison Worsted and Madison Sport and Annie sock. And trying to say, oh, wait, I've changed suppliers. This isn't the old Madison worsted you're used to. This is something different. It has a slightly different yardage and this and that and blah, 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 blah. It's like, it would be way too confusing. Plus, what is Madison anyway? Well, I named it after one of my favorite towns, so it has a cool name. And, we had a dog, our first Australian Shepherd, who was my dog Shalom's mother. Her name is Madison. We named her after the town. So I named the yarn after the dog, after the town. And then my old Shalom bases were named after Shalom. They were a 50-50 merino silk blend. And then Destiny, named after my dachshund, Desi, Destiny. So they all had Butterfly just because I love butterflies. Annie because, what else did I have? I don't even remember, and that's the problem. It was too much for even me to. Anyway, so yeah, starting simple, 3 bases, new names to avoid confusion with the old bases that may have like the same fiber content or this or that. So I'm going to be going through Ravelry and marking my old bases as discontinued, just to be very clear on that. And then I'm going to be updating, putting in my new bases, updating the new logo, things like that, or the new font. So it's a big process, but the biggest process has been getting space to dye yarn, because where we lived before with Michael's dad, I could not dye yarn. It was just the house was old and the wiring was kind of crappy. So like one time he told me that he had a space heater plugged in, and because it was really cold downstairs, because we had there's a daylight basement, and we had our little apartment downstairs, and the wall socket melted while the space heater was going. So I was like, I have to be able to run burners, crock pots, turkey roasters, whatever I end up using. They're high power draw. I don't think it's safe. So we decided, no yarn dyeing in the house. So, I couldn't do it there. So it was really discouraging for me for a while. I felt like, I had this thing I want to do, and it's I can't do it, and it was really hard. But, I decided, what? Instead of having a pity party, I can't dye yarn, I'm going to use that energy to, instead of fuel desperation, feeling trapped, anxiety, all of those things that I struggle with anyway, and just making those a crap ton worse, is okay, I need to find a solution. So it's okay, I need to get a business loan or a personal loan or this or something to be able to get into a house that that I can use to dye yarn, where we have our own place. I can have an office, he can have his own game room. We're not, because our apartment was basically one room, downstairs, and that's where I recorded my prior podcasts. That was on my side of the room. And then, so it was like my little area that's in the podcast, and then the bed, and then his area. So we were always like smushed into that room, you know, trying to do, like, I'd be trying to working, he'd be playing video games. And it was just like, we didn't have the kind of the space that we needed. So now that we, you know, I have my office, on the other side of the Jack and Jill bath right here, there's his game room. So I can close my door, he can close his door. We can do our own thing. You know, he can play drums or guitar or whatever he wants or needs to do, video games, whatever. And I can be in here, you know, focusing. Like yesterday, you know, I was working on stuff. He was home. He was playing drums. He was playing his Rocket League video game and things like that on Xbox and PC, and like doing all his stuff. And I'm just in here working. Like, I have my Echo Dot plugged in, and I was just listening to music, and it's just like, yeah, this is great. Because in our old space, we couldn't do that. Yeah, it's a lot better. But anyway, that was a tangent. Back on track. I need to uncover my list, but where was I at? Okay, 2.0, when I'm gonna launch, new yarn, new shop. Okay. Yeah, so this is my office. Yeah, that's my workstation over there where, I don't know if you can see all of it, but if you've been watching me, you know, go through the process on Instagram and share pictures on Instagram, you know what it looks like anyway, because you saw me building it. So yeah, and then right over here outside the frame, that's where I have my Xbox and my TV set up and like a little tech station there. And then the tripod is currently sitting on my desk with my iMac, which again, photo is on Instagram, so you can see it. Yeah, it's awesome. And like, I'm sitting here and there's this gorgeous window and I can see the blue sky and the clouds, and we have a nice backyard with nice grass, and like, it's awesome. It's a dream come true, you know, for both of us, having our own place. And oh, and as you know, again, from Instagram, I have my Ninja coffee bar set up in the kitchen, and it's awesome, and I love it. I can get up in the morning, take a shower, you know, get ready for work, put on whatever I want to wear, you know, like PJ shorts, and walk around the house. I could walk around the house in my underwear if I wanted to, which is something I haven't been able to do in a really long time. It's a new chapter. A new chapter. What else? Gonna save the stitches talk for next time. One note, my grandpa passed away, as you know, once again, if you've been following me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, probably heard. I am flying out to Dallas, and then down to Waco, excuse me, for his memorial I'm gonna be gone the 21st and 22nd, fly out the 21st, stay the night with my aunt, fly home the 22nd in the evening. So I will be taking knitting. I haven't had much time for knitting. So yeah, I should probably go ahead and say that this is not going to be a knitting heavy podcast episode at all. I have done a little bit, but nothing to show. I meant to cast on my Tanya, and then we started moving in. It's like, it didn't happen. So I miss knitting so much, but you know, we're settling. It's good. I'm going to get back to it. I have all my furniture from my mom's house, like the desk that this is on, my knitting chair, like, so yay. I will be starting to knit again. And then, like I said, you know, traveling while I'm at the airport, I'm going to be knitting, you know, while I'm on the plane, maybe, I don't know. I may just take my iPad and watch Netflix. Don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to be getting back into that as I get back into, you know, starting Annie yarn and stuff like that. Right now it's just a lot of back end stuff. So it's sitting at a desk, looking at a computer screen, you know, typing, doing code, this and that, and, you know, changing settings and all that. So it's really not conducive to knit time. So yeah, I'm going to try to do an episode next week with the travel stuff. I don't know for sure yet. I might just be able to get in a quick stitches mini haul kind of episode and show some footage from that and just kind of put it together real quick. If not, then I will probably film while I'm traveling, and then, you know, maybe do like a double episode when I get back, you know, showing stitches and my travels and stuff like that. So I will definitely keep y'all posted. Again, very, very sorry, as I have said several times on Instagram, very sorry that I took so long. But with all this stuff going on, I know you guys have been so understanding. But I really want to get back onto, like a bi-weekly rotation with my podcast, and then, get back to weekly as I can. I'm going to be, still balancing working full-time at Simply Mac and starting up Annie Yarn. So I don't know if a weekly thing would work, but bi-weekly is better than nothing, right? So I think that's about it for today's episode. Saving stitches for next time really helped kind of pare it down a bit to a more manageable length. And even then I've been rambling. So yeah, I guess I'll say bye. Hopefully next episode I won't be so awkward about it either. Really gotten out of practice talking to the back of my phone. But no, you guys are all through that gateway. So I'm talking to people, right? So yeah, thank you guys, everybody who has encouraged me and kept up with me and been so supportive of what I want to do and where I want to take Annie Yarn, and voted in my polls and given me input. And I really want to say a huge, massive thank you to all of you guys. Thank you for watching my podcast. I'm really excited about what's coming. I cannot wait to share it all with you guys. Let me know how you like my first awkward episode in my new office. And if you have any questions that you want me to talk about on next episode or anything like that, go ahead and comment or message me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever you need to do. But please reach out if there's stuff you want me to talk about. Let me know, because I'm always looking for new things to talk about and make this podcast feel more of like a dialogue than a monologue. So anyway, I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.